Hello everybody, my name's Big Citrus and let's get into it. So the release of Modern Warfare 3 2 is right around the corner. By all technicalities, it is the third Call of Duty game in a row that is being developed either by Sledgehammer Games or Infinity Ward. And judging by the sales of these three games, I think people are really tired of these developers, and I know I am. The truth is, I really don't think a lot of people have been anticipating Modern Warfare 3 2023. Before the beta came out, I saw a fair amount of hype about them bringing old Modern Warfare 2 maps back, which is weird for Modern Warfare 3, and them changing a fair amount of the movement systems and all of that. And then the beta actually came out and people realized, oh my god, this is literally just Modern Warfare 2 2022 again. I know that the joke around Call of Duty games is that these games are insanely similar, but I think it's really the worst it's ever been this time. Call of Duty Modern Warfare 2 2022 was the follow-up to Call of Duty Vanguard, which in my opinion is the worst Call of Duty of all time. It's genuinely astounding to me that they followed up Black Ops Cold War, which wasn't the best Call of Duty game, but was received fairly well, with probably the three consecutive worst games in the game's franchises. Yes, I know Modern Warfare 3 2023 isn't out yet, but I am confident in that statement. So I started recording this video before Modern Warfare 3's campaign was actually available to play because it came out a little bit before November 10th. And oh my god, I have never seen a Call of Duty campaign be shit on this hard. Like, this is ridiculous. Usually when a COD campaign comes out, everyone plays it, tosses it to the side, says some things they liked about it, didn't really care for, and then they just move on. This is the first Call of Duty campaign that is being badgered for a number of reasons, which further, reiterates in my mind that this truly is just going to be another horrible year for Call of Duty, and Infinity Ward is just going to be continued to be dogged on. The campaign is way too short, does not develop on the characters that are introduced from the old Modern Warfare franchise and from the new Modern Warfare franchise in an interesting way. The story is very rushed and does a very pathetic job to recreate the original Modern Warfare 2 campaign. It is overall just kind of a, spit in the face to the fans who were hyping up this game and really excited to relive their old memories. I have never seen a COD campaign get this level of hate, and I think it kind of just, further proves and reiterates that they just don't know how to make fun games that can satisfy the fans, Infinity Ward and Sledgehammer. People have been shitting on this franchise since I first started playing COD back in 2010. I was literally 10 years old. And one of the things that people have always made jokes about in the Call of Duty community is that a Call of Duty game will be announced, it'll come out, and people will hate on it and shit on it. And by the time a year has passed and the next game comes out, people will be saying that that game that came out a year ago, fantastic, art, masterpiece, one of the best games ever made. It was underrated. We didn't appreciate it at the time. I have seen that happening with Call of Duty Black Ops Cold War a lot recently, but I think that this is a genuine love and affection for the game and Treyarch as a Call of Duty developer. I haven't seen that shit for Vanguard and Modern Warfare 2. I have seen some tweets that the changes that Modern Warfare 2 2022 made to the Call of Duty franchise and to the Battle Royale mode Warzone literally killed Call of Duty and their friend groups who used to play it all the time. As far as my friend groups go, who we basically bought every Call of Duty that came out since we were 10 for the past 10 years, we did not play Vanguard, and we certainly did not play Modern Warfare 2 2022. Modern Warfare 3 2023, again being developed by not just Infinity Ward, but also Sledgehammer Games, it's not very inspiring. Let me make it clear. The reason that I am going to be hating so hard on the new Modern Warfare 3, not just that it is the same game, it is the same bad game. Call of Duty will always be fun because of its fast, fluid arcade shooting and progression system. Those are the two things that get you addicted to Call of Duty. And to be fair, Activision and the developers who make these games have mastered this formula better than anyone else. They know that they can pump these games out with that style of gameplay, a campaign, a multiplayer mode, some other third survival specialists horde mode thing, zombies mode, and they know that they will make at least $1 billion now. Some people cite the recent sales of the recent Call of Duty games as a success of Infinity Ward and Sledgehammer, but I don't really think so. Look at Call of Duty Black Ops 1, Modern Warfare 3. Those are the two singular best-selling games in the Call of Duty franchise, with 30 million and 31 million sales respectively. The original Modern Warfare 3 selling 30 million copies in 2011 is way more impressive than whatever the fuck the number is of the combined last two games Call of Duty sales. People play video games way more nowadays, so I think that Activision constantly trying to push the success of these mid-ass games is not really a good sign. The real cash cow in the Call of Duty franchise recently has been Warzone. The worst thing about Warzone as a battle royale is also the reason it makes a lot of money, and that is because of the weapon meta. Warzone is a very uncomplicated battle royale mode. The main thing that matters in Warzone is what weapon you're using and how good you are at shooting and positioning. That's really all it is. Warzone, when it first dropped, was at least something interesting. It kind of reminded me of something like PUBG and H1Z1 combined on a grander scale. And there was actually a wide weapon variety. There were a fair amount of very underrated weapons that you could actually use depending on your playstyle. And for the more skillful players, you could use something like the Kar 98K or one of the bolt-action snipers and get very far. Activision realized how much money they could make off the system where if they create a specific weapon meta where they make, oh, I don't know, some gun like the Grau or the Bruin or the DMR, basically just a full auto laser beam that is just completely required to play, they realized that they could sell bundles containing these guns and the best attachments for them, therefore causing players who don't have enough time or patience to buy these bundles so they can actually compete with other players who are as good as them, worse, better, doesn't matter. They have the better weapon, that's all that matters. Because there's custom loadouts in Warzone, that's always going to be a problem now that Activision has realized they can milk this franchise. And to be fair, we can't really blame any of the developers for that, but Infinity Ward and Sledgehammer have not tried to improve Warzone in the last few years. The best era of Warzone, in my opinion, was definitely Black Ops Cold War when we had Verdansk to play and also Rebirth Island. Rebirth Island felt like a blitzkrieg arcade battle royale mode. It was very small, very fast, and the Rebirth mechanic made it to where, yeah, you die, hey, you get at least another chance as long as one of your squad mates is still alive. This could lead to matches feeling a bit campy and a bit odd, but it was genuinely fun and refreshing for battle royale mode. And then they removed Verdansk and Rebirth Island, and oh my god, everything for Warzone has been horrible ever since. That on top of the new Call of Duty games having horrible campaign modes. Seriously, have you heard anyone talk about the Modern Warfare 2 2022 campaign like more than once? Multiplayer that feels more like Rainbow Six Siege on Adderall, which doesn't really sound appealing if you've ever played Rainbow Six Siege, and horribly dim, boring ass color palettes. I don't care about the realistic graphics. These games just look so unappealing to me to play. And new level progression systems that are the complete antithesis to how people like to play Call of Duty in the past, and a UI and HUD that makes the Black Ops 4 Zombies HUD look fucking pristine. It's very easy to make a Call of Duty game, but it's also very easy to fuck it up, and I think that is a huge reason that these games have not been resonating with people, and why we have seen a huge resurgence in the respect and love for the Treyarch development team. All the time on Twitter, I'm seeing Black Ops 3, best Call of Duty of all time. Black Ops 4, one of the most underrated Call of Duties of all time. Black Ops Cold War, the best Call of Duty in years. Black Ops 2, best COD of all time. And you want to know what? I agree with all these things. Even the two worst Black Ops in the series, which I would consider to be Black Ops 4 and Black Ops Cold War, are still a billion times the games that Infinity Ward's best in the series are of the last 10 years. I'm sorry, let's put the worst Black Ops game, which is Black Ops Cold War, in my opinion, up against the best Sledgehammer Infinity Ward game of the past 5 years, which is easily Modern Warfare 2019. Modern Warfare 2019, it did feel like a reboot for the Infinity Ward style of Call of Duties, but it wasn't enough to keep people interested in the sequels. Black Ops Cold War had the aesthetic of the Treyarch games and had that Cold War era, you know, that interesting Treyarch, you know, bright and dark, moody lighting, fast, fluid gameplay that made it feel more like an arcade shooter, and a campaign that, yes, didn't always have the most interesting gameplay segments, but at least had an interesting creative story with iconic characters. Hell, Alder is a new character, and I saw people making memes and fan cams of this motherfucker all the time. Tell me any of these characters from the Call of Duty Vanguard story mode or the Modern Warfare 2 story mode. Tell me who the fuck these people are. If you're not a Call of Duty superfan who buys every game every year, you are not going to know that. I think at the end of the day, Treyarch gets Call of Duty, and they gets that these games don't always need to be the most balanced, they don't always need to make the most sense, and they don't always need to feel the most competitive, but what they need to be is fun. Mindless fun. I mainly want to talk about the fact that everyone is looking forward to the Treyarch 2024 Call of Duty, and it's sad to see that we have to sit through another Call of Duty release that no one really cares about. I really want to highlight why the last few years of literally the biggest franchise of all time have been so depressing, and why everyone is hoping that the 2024 COD made by Treyarch is the one that can turn the ship around, because if the next Call of Duty by Treyarch sucks, then I genuinely think Call of Duty is going to take a huge hit, and I don't think these games are going to be making $1 billion every time they come out anymore. I will talk about zombies later, but I know that a lot of people who are buying Modern Warfare 3 do not care about zombies, and yeah, Modern Warfare 3 Zombies is literally just Outbreak again. And Outbreak was easily the weakest part of Cold War. The only people who liked it were people who had never played like other zombies games before. I don't know a single actual zombies fan who liked it. I know it's really easy for them to make because they can literally just take assets from Warzone and add zombies and just call it a day. But there's a reason that people enjoyed the round-based zombies. It really had a great progression of every round getting harder and you getting stronger as the rounds progress, and it also made Easter eggs actually fun to do. And it also made Easter eggs like actually doable. Get to the highest round, do this Easter egg steps in the shortest amount of time within these rounds. With open world zombies, it just feels aimless. One thing that Treyarch has always done as a developer is they have always at least added something new that genuinely made each game feel different. Black Ops 1 and Black Ops 3 were made by a large group of the same exact people, yet they feel like entirely different video games. And you know what? Speaking of Black Ops 3, I'm just gonna fucking say it. I'm gonna say it. I don't give a shit what anyone says. Exo movement was good. Now, yeah, you heard that right. I'm not saying Exo movement wasn't that bad. I'm saying it was good. Sure, maybe in Advanced Warfare and Infinite Warfare, it wasn't perfect, but Black Ops 3, I think, got the perfect balance. The movement in this game was so easy to understand, and it was very fun. Yeah, sure, people didn't really want Call of Duty to turn into this futuristic bullshit with people flying around on jetpacks and wall riding and everything. Titanfall 2 would come out 1 year later, and people would praise the hell out of it and say it's way better than Call of Duty. Yeah, the movement mechanics like Titanfall 2 are great and everything, but I don't think it always works in the multiplayer. Players who have mastered the movement are playing on a completely different level compared to someone who just started playing the game. Black Ops 3 doesn't really have this issue. The maps in Black Ops 3 utilize the exo movement so well, and the operators in Black Ops 3 genuinely feel like a prequel to what we were going to get in Overwatch, with each character having unique abilities that made them stand out from one another, but there wasn't a clearly defined meta. Black Ops 1 and Black Ops 2 had very simplistic multiplayer, and honestly, I think the reason the Black Ops 1 and 2 felt the best is because they had the best maps and the best weapon selection, and that does matter a lot for Call of Duty. I'm sorry, I don't give a fuck about Rust. Nuketown is my home. And you gotta understand, I have played basically most of Infinity Ward and Sledgehammer's Call of Duties, and I have played them a lot. They feel like everything bad about Call of Duty squeezed into one. And I remember a game that got a lot of shit when it came out was Black Ops 4, which is now being looked at and getting the, revisionist history treatment. But it actually deserves it. I know some people who say that this is their favorite COD, but it doesn't have a campaign, and the multiplayer, it was too hard to understand. Look, the Black Ops 4 multiplayer had some of the best kill streaks and score streaks in any Call of Duty. They legitimately felt huge. I loved the game modes in Black Ops 4. Also, the operators in Black Ops 4 weren't always super balanced, but the operator mods they added for the weapons, ooh, the rapid fire and the Spitfire, it genuinely gave you a reason to grind weapons on that game. And it was definitely the most tactical Call of Duty of all time. This is the only game I ever watched any esports for, and it was interesting. There were actual metas and comps with the operators. They felt like expanded upon from the Black Ops 3 operators. Black Ops 3 was a lot faster and more fluid, which I tend to prefer, but Black Ops 4 had a much higher skill ceiling with what some of the operators could do. Yeah, did it kind of feel like a crossover between Rainbow Six Siege and Call of Duty at times? Yeah, sure. Things that were tactical in this game, like certain tactical grenades and scopes, were way too good, but it was honestly probably the most skillful Call of Duty of all time.
But I just want to run around with dual pistols and kill everybody.
I mean, you could do that if you were really good.
And the zombies was too hard, and the HUD looks really bad.
Alright, the HUD in Zombies Black Ops 4 was really bad. I'm not gonna defend that. Black Ops 4 was met with a wave of hate when it came out, but that was mostly because of the state that it launched in, which was pretty bad. It was missing many features that Black Ops 3 had in terms of customization, and the maps that it launched with weren't necessarily the best. And it had the whole two stories thing, and it was confusing, and the Easter eggs are insanely hard. Like, the Blood of the Dead Easter egg is the hardest Easter egg in Zombies history, don't at me. But Black Ops 4 Zombies was meant for veteran hardcore players, even if the story wasn't tailored to them. It did feel like a level up for Black Ops 3 Zombies with the increased enemy variety and harder bosses, and the zombies themselves kind of just feeling like they're on crack cocaine. Black Ops 4 had a lot of problems and everything, but a lot of its maps had tons of character and things that we never got in Zombies before, and Ancient Evil, the second DLC, is one of my favorite Zombies maps of all time. So yeah, maybe it wasn't perfect. I don't really need to go on about Black Ops 1 and Black Ops 2. Everyone knows why they're great. Black Ops 1, best campaign. Black Ops 2, almost the best zombies and multiplayer. All the maps on Black Ops 2 were just perfect. All the characters in Black Ops 1 campaign were just perfect. And both games did something completely new with zombies. Black Ops 2 felt a lot more goofy and kind of silly and everything, but it was still a new experience from the cold, hard style of Black Ops 1 zombies. I've already made a video on Black Ops 3 zombies and talking about why it's one of my favorite things in gaming, so you can go watch that if you want. And people have always had problems with Black Ops 3, Black Ops 4, and Cold War.
Black Ops 4 canceled the campaign in favor of a Battle Royale mode.
It was the right decision. If they had just scrummed together some sort of campaign for Black Ops 4 and just shipped it out, even if it was horrible, I think they would have gotten less PR flack for it being the first Call of Duty in years without a campaign. But Battle Royales were a rising trend, and Blackout was the shit. I fucking loved Blackout. I don't have anything else to say. Blackout was easily one of the most unique other game modes I've ever played in a game. There were no custom loadouts like Warzone. There was no like crazy advanced sliding movement and bullshit like there is in Warzone. The original map for Blackout was so unique. Areas like the construction site and Hydra Dam felt like they could have been their own BR map. It was massive. And the things like the shields and the grappling hook and the other kinds of equipment you could use meant that you basically kind of had your own operator mods that you could select to play with, and it really felt like you could completely control your own playstyle, kind of like Apex. The guns for this, in the most part, felt fair and balanced. It kind of reminded me of PUBG, where you're mostly just getting attachments for your guns, but the attachments made all the difference, and in this game mode, it actually really, like, made you want to go to the higher tier loot zones and go after care packages and shit, because finding the highest tier armor in this game mode was actually really difficult. This game mode at times wasn't very balanced. Positioning was a big deal in this. Sometimes you'd just be caught out in certain areas of the map and you'd be dead. And the other additional game modes, like the heist game mode that for Blackout, were a lot of fun. If they could expand upon this, fix some of the bugs and glitches and everything, this could have been the biggest battle royale of all time. But Infinity Ward was developing the next Call of Duty, so they got their crack at it, and it released at the perfect time with the COVID pandemic. Warzone had a huge boom during this time, and it got all of the attention that Blackout didn't. And now we're stuck with Warzone. I'm sure that everyone's really happy with that. And even Black Ops Cold War, which I didn't love, I still like. I remember playing the multiplayer for this, and it genuinely felt so refreshing as compared to like all the other CODs I've been playing. The only reason that I really don't like Black Ops Cold War is mainly for the zombies, because the story is just objectively bad. It kind of feels like a Destiny or a Borderlands DLC just expanded over the course of like 40 hours, and it's not very good. Also, it was way too easy, and it didn't really feel like similar to the zombies that I loved. Not that it had to, I'm all for innovation and everything, but it felt more lazy than anything else, because it was just mainly taking assets from Warzone, putting them into zombies, and again, just calling it a day. Again, Outbreak is bad. No more open world zombies. We tried it, it didn't work. Like I said though, campaign for this game was very good, and the movement in Cold War felt very fast and fluid, maybe a little too much, but again, it actually made Call of Duty feel fun. Also, I just really like the weapon selection in Cold War. Treyarch's guns are always just so much better than Infinity Ward's guns. Literally every Infinity Ward Call of Duty just has the full auto laser rifle that's just objectively better than every other game. It's just not fun. I think you may have noticed this from me talking about it, but each Treyarch game has felt different. If I'm gonna be honest with you, Infinity Ward specifically has not made a unique feeling Call of Duty. Yes, I mean that. I mean every single one of their games, from the original Modern Warfare to now, kind of feels the exact same. I always got upset, because I was always a huge Call of Duty fanboy when I was younger. I always got upset when people were saying that Call of Duty just releases the same game every year. But now that I've gone back and looked at a lot of the Infinity Ward games, I honestly get where they're coming from. Modern Warfare 3 is basically just a watered down version of Modern Warfare 2. Modern Warfare 1 and 2 were pretty good, had their moments and everything, but most people just like them because they're the first Call of Duties they've ever played. Modern Warfare 2019 was a great reboot for the Modern Warfare series, but if we're being honest with ourselves, it felt more like the entire game was based around Warzone, and I have nothing new to say about the last 3 CODs that Infinity Ward has worked on. They are all bad. The only people who love these games are Call of Duty meat writers who have been buying every single game and basically praising them the moment they come out, or just bitching about them and playing them anyways. I honestly think that some of the Black Ops games, at least like Black Ops 2 and Black Ops 3, are some of the best video games I have ever played. Call of Duty does not need to be overly complicated. It needs to be fun. I will reiterate that again. Also, I love how Treyarch actually adds like fun and creative game modes. Hell, they had Prop Hunt all the way back in Black Ops 3. And their games can get goofy and have stupid shit in them. Yeah. But I love that stupid shit. Like the Winner's Circle from Black Ops 3, when that got leaked that was coming back for Treyarch's COD in 2024, I got the biggest erection I've had in a long time. That shit was amazing. It made you feel special for doing good in a match, and it was cool to see yourself at the end. It was a nice little treat. All the Modern Warfare games just feel shrink-wrapped and dead. They're trying as hard as they can to be as little as they can, so they're not really offending anyone. Also, the fucking skill-based matchmaking in all of these Modern Warfare games needs to be toned way the hell down. It had its moments in Black Ops Cold War, but it wasn't nearly as bad. This might be a controversial opinion. I'm gonna say it. For the next Call of Duty, add a ranked mode. And honestly, for pubs, no skill-based matchmaking. Turn it off. I'm serious. What's worse? Occasionally, like 1 out of 3 games, you get a team of sweats and just getting stomped by them, or stomping people for about 5 or 6 games and then never being able to have fun for another 80 matches. What sounds better? Infinity Ward are lifeless, soulless developers. I do blame Activision for a lot of the things wrong with the Call of Duty franchise, like the endless greed, prioritizing shipping out a new game every year over actually making them as good as they possibly could be, and realizing their potential. But a lot of it I do genuinely just blame on Infinity Ward. I don't think they really want to make video games. They just want to make the same game over and over again, cash their paychecks, and leave the fucking office. Treyarch, at least, with every Call of Duty they have made, has tried something new. World at War feels completely different from the first few Call of Duties that came out. There were so many fun little quirky things in that game, and zombies, never forget, was an idea by the Treyarch studio, and it evolved into one of the greatest things in gaming with Black Ops 3 Zombies. I know I've been glizzy gobbling for Treyarch in this video, but before Treyarch releases this next game,
Wait! One more thing.
Treyarch, if your release in 2024 is bad, littered with skill-based matchmaking, a gray and brown realistic color palette that genuinely gives you eye strain after a few matches because it just looks like you're fighting in a real-life fucking war instead of being the fun arcade shooter that the game is supposed to be, SMGs that cannot kill anyone in close range, and a campaign with the most stale wooden characters you have ever seen, and a zombies mode that feels like I am playing fucking the Fortnite Halloween event, I will make it my personal mission to tear you to shreds. You will have lost every piece of good faith. You will have lost every ounce of goodwill I had for you, and I will be mildly upset. You have been warned. Here's a little something that I made to commemorate the Modern Warfare series, at least the parts that I and anyone else remembers about it. I've been Big Citrus, have a damn good one, follow the stuff in the description, and bump this shit. Big Citrus into Windows, yeah. Pull up uninvited to your house, like Steppenwolf, run it down your whole fucking block. I don't give a fuck, dropping this war zone. Gonna make the industry watch while I fuck that game like that. Cook, I fuck the bitch good for hours and hours. Then she let me hit again like the second tower. Yeah, I know I'm clever, yeah, I know I'm better. I get money while I want to white sweater. I switch my persona like I'm Heisenberg. I relax for 3 seconds, then it's back to work. Because I always got more obstacles. I'm making my birthday plans like I'm on an after pill. They like Subway chicken, they ain't for real. I'm like Howie Mandel, cause this deal or no deal. This ain't clean like soap, it's more of a Makarov feel. Cold eyes, cold cast, and I got a heart that won't heal. Hey, you coming for my throat? Hey, you shouldn't on the fucking go. Hey, you better be scared. Bitches is Modern Warfare. Hey, you coming for my